How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the channel and welcome to my review of Den of Thieves 2 Pantera. This is a sequel to the semi-successful hit of 2018 that A, either people didn't know was opening up this week, or B, even got a sequel because the marketing for this movie has been like the 2024 receipts for Lionsgate. Absolute trash, and follows Gerard Butler's Big Nick O'Brien as he goes undercover to find O'Shea Jackson Jr.'s Donnie to pay for the events of the first film, only this time they are teaming up to pull off a massive heist in the world's biggest diamond exchange. Going into this movie, I just wanted this movie to be enjoyable. I really enjoyed the first film for what it is. It's not the best movie of all time, and it certainly wasn't the best film of that year, but it still had its charming moments. There were some great sequences, and this movie is pretty much exactly what I got from the first film. This time around, writer and director Christian Gudades, I do apologize if I butchered the name, doesn't have a blueprint to follow, because that was the biggest issue that a lot of people that saw the first film had, that it was just a carbon copy of Heat. So this time around, he is going to be showing us what he can do when he doesn't have a blueprint to follow, and hopefully be able to give us some enjoyment. And I think he was able to do that as well as he could, because this time around we're not following a blueprint. If we are, please let me know down in the comments which movies we are following, but I didn't see any indication that we are following a blueprint of a different heist movie. So hopefully this was going to be a new direction for the franchise. As far as Den of Thieves 2 goes, if you enjoyed the first film, you're going to enjoy Den of Thieves 2 because it is exactly the same film as the first film. It starts off with a really fun heist. Then we spend about an hour and a half just figuring out how we're going to get in, setting up the plan, meeting up everybody that is going to be involved in this heist. And then the last hour of this movie is just car chases and guns blasting. And if that's exactly what you want out of Den of Thieves 2, you're not going to be disappointed with this film, because a lot of this movie is really hinged not just on the performances of O'Shea Jackson Jr. and Gerard Butler, but also the chemistry between these two, because we are just following these two and trying to see them kind of break bread over the events of the first film and try to get along so they're able to pull off this heist as flawless as the first film. And I thought the chemistry between Gerard Butler and O'Shea Jackson Jr. actually drove this movie, and that's exactly what I wanted this movie to be. They have a buddy-buddy relationship, especially when you know exactly the angle that Gerard Butler's character is coming from, and you just enjoy seeing them on screen. You see them break bread. You see O'Shea Jackson Jr.'s Donnie get a little bit more personal with him, giving him a little bit more insight as to his backstory and seeing where he came from. And you can kind of see that friendship just sort of evolve together. You see that Donnie is trusting Big Nick here in not only just pulling off the heist, but also giving him information. And I was not expecting this movie to have the level of heart that it does. It does give you a little bit more of an appreciation for Donnie and what he has been going through. And so on those levels, I thought Christian Gudades did a really good job of building out these characters a little bit more so you can get a little bit more behind these characters. And he does improve when it comes down to his direction. I do still wish this movie wasn't 2 hours and 24 minutes. It's roughly around the same time as the first film, and it still has the same beats. And this movie could have easily just been 20 minutes shorter, and you would have still had the same impact, because there are times in here where the pacing of the film just drags on so much, and that has to do with like the first 20 to 30 minutes of this movie. The first 20 to 30 minutes of this movie is just the setup, trying to get the plan and seeing what we're going to be going up against, so that once we get down to the heist, everything can just go down. And I do really enjoyed a lot of the action sequences in this movie. Christian really did improve on the shootouts and the sequences, because there is a great car chase towards the end of this movie that just had me at the edge of my seat. It just pumps you up with adrenaline, and I just really enjoyed how well they were really crafted. This movie is not Shakespeare, and it's not trying to be. It's just trying to entertain you for about 2.5 hours. And if you really enjoyed the first film, you're going to come out really enjoying this movie, because it really is basically the same movie as the first film, only this time around we're not following a blueprint. That Christian Gutierrez did a really good job of honing his craft and trying to do something new-ish while also being very familiar to the first film, and I think he succeeded on those parts. If you enjoy the first film, or if you really want a shut off your brain kind of movie, this is a movie for you. It definitely is a fun, enjoyable movie when we have the car chase sequences. Everything else in between is going to be up to you. You might get bored by it, you might not, but I really do enjoy the fact that we had Gerard Butler and O'Shea Jackson Jr. really carrying this movie together, really having that buddy-buddy relationship to get us invested in these characters and get us invested in the heist. But those are my thoughts on Den of Thieves 2. Are you guys planning on checking this film out, or did you even know this movie even got a sequel? Go ahead and drop your thoughts in the comments below, and we'll catch you guys for the next video.